Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson, and I'm still here waiting for my brothers. I hope and believe that everybody is doing fine. Let me check on the comment section to see. Hey, Goodia is here. Hello, Brother Benson Media and the team. How are you doing? And how have you been? I'm still waiting for Mr. Miguda here so that he can join us to continue with the conversation. And before we go into the main discussion, as we wait for our brothers to come in, Makobura, Miguda, and Musimamo, we have to look at some of the trending issues that are trending right now. And hey, Miguda is here. Miguda, how are you doing, my brother? Hey, Miguda.
Hello, how are you, bro? I'm good. I'm
Yes.
good. I'm good. How are you
Okay.
doing?
I've been good, and we are here. Um, just want to look at those that are trending in the news that are trending. Among other them, we are also going to discuss about the uh, Sifuna with the petition that he did put before the political party and dispute courts, and the decision has been arrived at, and also we have SDC that will be taking place tomorrow. How have you been?
I've been good. I've been good. I've
Mm,
been faring all well.
yeah,
Just some small issues here and there,
yeah.
but we have to push as a people. But all in all, we
Uh,
appreciate that by God's grace, we are around.
okay, that's very good to hear that you are around and breathing well. Miguda, there's something that happened during the week, and it's a discussion that maybe I want to weigh your thought. And as somebody who is a Seventh Day Adventist, this happened in your church about the two the lady and the man who ended up pouring acids on this lady's face, and he was arrested the other day. What would you say about the whole incident, Mr. Miguda?
Okay, thank you, bro. I thought you could have asked me that one yesterday, but it's good you have brought it in.
Yeah.
Actually, it's very good. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist, and I'm
Mhm.
still there. I'm not leaving anytime soon.
Mm.
The good part of this story is that all of them are well known to me. You know, me, I'm an international Seventh Day Adventist. I'm
Mm.
known in the whole division from Rwanda, Nairobi, in
Uh,
conferences, West Kenya
uh,
Union, Nairobi, and
uh,
even the pastors, Ruguru,
uh,
Ochorokodi. Those are my guys whom
uh,
I've been hosting.
mm,
So anything to do with the SDA, ask
yeah.
me, and you get it. The
Yeah.
lady by the name Mary Clara.
Hmm.
Mary Clara, I've met her twice in a wedding.
Yeah.
Mary Clara, the sister to Mary Clara, she's
Hmm.
called Lydia.
Hmm.
Lydia is married to my friend Ben Orwa, the
Hmm.
composer of Redemption. Those
Oh,
the one who composed the Redemption songs. That is
okay.
my guy, my classmate,
Hmm.
who married Lydia. Lydia is the sister to Mary Clara. So you
Yeah.
understand?
Hmm.
They are my people. If you go to Redemption, Mabera,
Hmm.
Mary Clara has been there twice. We have met. And
Hmm.
also Elvis, the NIS guy, National
Yeah.
Intelligence Service guy.
Mm.
Elvis is coming from Kabondo, Misambi. You know, Kabondo is my neighbor at home there, Nyakach.
Yeah.
And also, we were in the same church. So sometimes when we have some information, we know people in this country. So Elvis, first he was a military, then he went to NIS.
Mm-hmm.
Elvis is also a revival minister, choir. So these are people we have met in Campori, we have
Uh,
interacted,
mm,
we have linked.
uh,
I know them. And actually, me, I called Ben Orwa when the
uh-huh.
incident happened,
Mm.
and Ben Orwa briefed me because that is Shemeji.
Uh,
Also, I talked to Lydia.
uh,
Actually, I've been added in a WhatsApp group to
uh,
contribute for our medication. So these are my people. So what I want to say,
Mm.
What I want to say is this: the incident has happened.
Yeah.
I don't want to delve much into it because we know.
Mm.
Actually, Mary Clara,
Mm. Okay, we lost me good. It is called when water acid. Um, uh, uh, All right. Miguda wanted to give us brief, but I wanted to know the moral lesson, especially like young people could learn, or any other person would learn from what really happened between these two. Um, would I call them lovebirds, or would I say they were people who were worshippers? They were in the same.
okay, let,
Was,
let me let me conclude.
yeah.
Let me conclude.
Mm,
Internet messed me. These are my people.
mm,
These are my people whom I'm well known to them. They
mm,
know me. So what happens is that Elvis agreed to pay
mm,
school fees for Clara from
mm,
Form 1 to
mm,
Form 4. And
mm.
actually, Clara was a student of Kadika Girls. And you know, Kadika Girls, my sister is the chaplain there. So these are people I know. So
You know,
what happens is that she paid for 4 years, Form 1 to Form 4.
yeah.
Then she paid from first year to fourth year, undergrad, Kenyatta
Mm,
University.
yeah.
So by the time we were in the Benorwa's wedding,
Yeah.
we were with Elvis and Clara. So they
Yeah.
were friends. They were lovebirds. Everybody knew. The
Mm,
redemption choir knew. The revival minister knew. These people were going to marry each other. Then all of a sudden, things happen. This guy, a producer, came in between them, and also with a different vibes. And after vibing, after vibing by Clara. So what I'm trying to say is this, Brother Benson. The bottom line: if I could be a judge,
yeah.
if I could be a judge presiding over this case,
Mm,
if I could be a judge presiding over this case,
yeah.
I would be fair
Mm,
because
mm,
Mary Clara has been injured, she
mhm,
has been armed, we all
mhm,
know.
mhm,
Then, of course, Elvis also, has also suffered financially because catering for someone's school fees from Form 1 and to fourth year
mm,
undergrad. At the same time,
mm,
Elvis also built for the father and mother a house, a home,
mm,
very beautiful home, at
mm.
the expense of paying dowry in installments. So, what happens here is that
So,
if I could
Miguda,
be a judge,
let,
if I
let
could
me
be a judge, I want to
let
conclude.
me conclude and be a judge and moral story.
Yeah, that's true. If I could be a judge,
Yeah.
number one, I could have considered that my guy, Elvis, my guy, has
Mm,
spent much paying for this lady.
mm,
Then you understand disappointments are in life.
mhm,
People can divorce,
mm,
someone can love other person. Those are
mm,
part of life. So I could reconsider that. Of course, this guy has been paying school fees.
mhm,
At the same time, Clara also, you cannot force Clara to marry Elvis.
mm,
That's one also you must consider someone's initiative. So right now, Clara, she's in Kenyatta National Hospital. If I could be a judge, I could have not, I cannot convict Elvis. I'll just advise if he can pay part of medication for the lady because he took part or he abate to harm the lady because the person whom he sent said, of course, we can't say that is the person who did so because already Elvis has pleaded not guilty. So I could have said, it happens. They were in affair. She was my girlfriend. Just you can pay for the half or some three-quarter of the medical bill, but I'll not subject Elvis into prison if I could be a judge. At the same time, I'm going to allow Clara to have his own choice for who to marry her. I'll not force Clara to stick to Elvis. So that at least Elvis, because she has spent a lot to in the lady, if she has spent a lot, I don't want to subject her into more injuries. At the same time, I also want to allow Clara to choose freely from her heart whoever she loves to marry her. So the moral of the story is this. you know, Benson, this has been a discussion in the church. We have
Yeah.
WhatsApp groups, we have been
Uh,
discussing them. We have Kamukunjis, we have been discussing them. We have
mm,
church barazas, we also have church board, we have discussed them. So, what I've realized is that
mm.
most of men are victims. Most of men are victims. Oh, most of my friends who are men, all of them are victims. I've had like 7 men narrating for me that they have taken their time
Uh,
taking us to school, disappointment. There are some people also. I
yeah.
don't know why after you have taken somebody through school, then all of
Yeah.
a sudden they change their mind to marry somebody. So we have concluded that
Mm,
when we were doing this discussion, our
mm,
conclusion was
mm.
mothers or women
Yeah.
should teach their ladies or their daughters because there's no way you
Teach
can
them the
subject somebody,
morals. Teach them the morals, or teach them or educate them. So that's where, like,
educate
maybe.
them, or try to enlighten them on the moral. Because how do you
Mm,
subject someone to pay for your school fees?
mm,
Then all of a sudden, you are saying it's not your type. And if you are where boy childs are, and you try to discuss this issue that women's right, Clara's right, but they'll stone you. Those
yeah.
people will stone you.
But at the same time, Miguda, as you speak, sources. Before we go, we are taking. Okay, we are getting the sources are that, like, people knew very well that Elvis had family already, and the church knew that, and everybody who might have been aware of their relationship. What role was the church? What role was the church supposed to play? Because you know that in SDA, you know that polygamous is not allowed, even not in SDA, and in Christianity. Like
Very good
SDA.
question. Very good question. SDA, we
Yeah.
don't practice polygamy. It is
Yeah.
the church doctrine. That's
Mm-hmm.
a very good question. At the same time, that's why you understand most of us don't drink. Most
Mm,
of us, though you can people, not that everybody don't drink.
mm,
Don't misinterpret. There are people who are drinking, but a good number
yeah.
don't drink
Mm,
because it's in accordance with the church doctrine. So what I'm trying to say is that
mm-hmm.
in SPA, it's obvious that there
Mm,
is no polygamy.
yeah.
But you find out that when these people were dating,
Yeah.
this was the daughter of pastor. So pastor knows this thing very well. So what I want to say is that everybody knew that Elvis was having a wife. It was not something private or secret. We all
Mm-hmm.
knew. And I told you when we were meeting in a certain wedding in 2020, all of
Mm,
us were there, including the Elvis wife, Clara. Clara knew. So these are just what we call, if you go to court now, there are
mm,
things just you try to get how you can defend yourself. So you like, okay, I never knew he was having a wife. Oh, I never knew. But they knew. So what happens? Because if
uh,
you look at the Elvis text and
mm,
Clara,
mm,
no, Clara's text and the wife,
mm-hmm.
Clara used to command. She used to say, I'm the one commanding. I'm the one who is in control, not
Mm-hmm.
you." She used to abuse the wife. So how comes she was abusing the wife? Then all of a sudden, she never knew the Elvis was married. So those are wrong. Because if you go to the WhatsApp group, you'll find how they were abusing each other. As we are in the church, we have those sources. So what am I trying to say?
Mm,
Uh, in short,
mm.
moral of the story,
Yeah,
according to me,
according to you, wewe imekushinda wewe toka
according according
hapa.
to me, according to me,
Eh,
let us just be honest, be
eh.
open, be
But
transparent.
okay, no, it is okay. No, this is. I think it is a learning lesson to majority of both the girl, the boy, and the family, especially even if you are in the church. I think, like, the church did not take what they're supposed to do as a church, because they knew this is not something that started today and ended today. This is something that has taken a long period of time, and they played uh, according to the tune, or they played sides, because, like, I think if the even the leadership of the church had a very good intention to keep this marriage, one, they could advise the man, if it is that you are taking this girl through education, then you should find a way of divorcing the other wife, you know. And even the man himself, he should learn from the history. These are cases that his case is not, I would say that his case is not new. These are some of the things that have really happened to so many people. You know, we've seen especially young people taking their girlfriend or their wives through school. At the end of the day, they end up disagreeing, and that is the end. But now, one of the things also that the men did bad, ikishindikana unawacha bwana. Kwa sababu ni kitu ambacho ulijitakia wewe mwenyewe, uliamua utalipa, lakini ulikuwa unalipa kwamba unadhani kwamba mapenzi iko. Unajua kitu ipo hivi kwa Kiswahili, wacha niseme. Mapenzi ikiisha imeisha. Hata kama umenunulia Mercedes Benz, hata kama umenunulia gari. Tumeona hata watu ambao walikuwa na mali mingi, umewekeza vizuri, lakini mapenzi inaweza isha kwa msichana na mapenzi ishe kwa mvulana, kwa msichana, kwa mvulana. Ikiisha imeisha, haijalishi kwamba wewe uliwekeza ngapi, kama haijalishi, kwa sababu ulikuwa unawekeza wakati ambao mlikuwa katika mapenzi, na jambo ambalo lilifanya kwamba uwekeze kwa sababu mapenzi ilikuwepo. Lakini kama mapenzi imeisha, wakati ambapo ulikuwa kuna benefits ambao ulipata, ambapo huwezi ambia huyu msichana kwamba mimi kuna benefits, msichana mwambie mimi nipatie benefits zangu, hizo benefits ambao ulikuwa unapata ulikuwa unazilipia, na mulikubaliana. Na vile vile pia wale ambao wasichana pia wanasema kwamba kama unajua haiwezi fika tamati, mwambie mtoto wa watu bana, ni mbaya. Thank you so much, and that is something that has been of discussion. Polygamy, Judith with a long moral is polygamy is the way to go. Let men marry as they wish. That is according to Nairobi and Ayaga.
But you know, let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing. You know, Ayaga, Ayaga is saying men marry. You know, marriage is also expensive. You can only marry many wives if you can afford how you are going to take care of them. So you cannot marry if you have nothing. You can't marry many wives. Also, that one depends. And lastly,
Yeah.
what I know is that people are different. But according to me, once
Mm.
you love a lady,
Mm-hmm.
and you can also read from the action activities. If a lady has given up on you, just
Mm-hmm.
let her go. According to me, as we were taught that there are many ladies. If you today this one leaves you, there are so many ladies in this world. So you just get one who will be convenient. So there's no need of you cannot you cannot force love by a gun. That through gun or acid, you must love me. No, it cannot happen. If you cannot love me, I'm just contented being myself.
Ayaga, Goodyear is asking you, how many do you have? Okay, thank you so much, Miguda, for that. But it is something that both sides, both men and the ladies and the parents also, is a lesson that we should learn. And before we start like engaging in such, we have to have those deep conversation or between the two of you. But then when it comes to relationship, we are not getting the full story. The people who would know what really transpired so much are the two. Maybe there was something that the lady also saw that she feels, this is a red flag to me. So like she was taking precaution earlier. Despite the fact that you might have assisted, which she agreed to, but she was reading some uh, some uh, some red flags. Alikuwa ameona akasema, wacha nifanye hivi. Simba, habari gani?
Salama sana brother Ben.
Umepotelea wapi?
Sisi tuko Kenya hii tunapanga mambo yetu, si unajua kawaida.
Haya, sawa. Wacha kabla tuja hebu kwa uchache tu, si kwa maneno mingi, hii mambo ambayo yalitokea katikati ya Clara na Elvis, sana sana, wewe unaweza sema vipi? Simba amepotea. Okay, nadhani Simba atarudi anapokea simu tutamuuliza. Miguda, thank you so much for joining once again, and everybody in the comment section, Ayaga, Goodyear, Judith, and everyone who is watching us. We really, really appreciate you big time. Today we want to have a conversation, especially on what has transpired. As you know, tomorrow also we are having SDC of ODM, and the court has made a ruling, especially on the Edwin Sifuna and ODM case, whereby the court have struck or has dismissed the case that was before it, especially by Sifuna. And there's this understanding of the law, which especially Miguda, you will help us understand, because there are those who feel that Sifuna has won. There's those who feel like Sifuna has not won. I mean, like, has not won, like, benefited. It's a big blow to Sifuna and a big win for the broad-based government, or not the Linda ground that is headed by Oburu and Gladys Wanga. So to begin with, Miguda, what is your take on the ruling, and how is this one going to play out, or how does this one affect what is going to take place, especially tomorrow?
Oh, that's a a very detailed question. First, what I want to bring out is that
Mhm,
when Sifuna went to court to make
mhm,
application
mhm.
concerning removal from the office of the SG,
Yeah.
cited that he was relieved from his duties
Mhm,
and also replaced by Omanyu.
mhm,
Sifuna also, just like a person,
mhm,
he moved to court to request or to complain on the removal by the neck from that position. So court was supposed to, the prayers that Sifuna went to court to seek were, one, he
mhm.
wanted the court to reinstate him back as the SG and also dismissing the neck decision.
Yeah.
So when we went to court today for the ruling or whatever the tribunal, we find out that the decision that the tribunal has made, actually the determination,
Mhm,
they have said very clear that they have dismissed the complaint of Sifuna to be reinstated as the SG of ODM. That
mhm,
one must be understood. At the same
mhm,
time, the same tribunal has not interfered with the decision of NEC to relieve Sifuna from his duties. So as we speak right now, the
mhm,
decision of the NEC stand that Sifuna has been relieved by from his duties by
mm.
the neck organ. At
Yeah.
the same time, Sifuna's request or complaint to be reinstated back
Mhm,
has not been guaranteed by the tribunal, or rather,
yeah.
tribunal has referred Sifuna to the party to go and resolve it internally.
Mhm,
Interpretations are different.
mhm.
Someone will interpret to you that big win for Sifuna.
Yeah.
Someone will interpret for you big win for Sifuna
Yes.
because the court has not ruled Sifuna out as the
Mhm.
SG.
Yeah.
Some people maybe think that Sifuna court could have just declared that Sifuna, you are no longer the SG.
Mm.
So that one they could have said big loss for Sifuna.
Yeah.
But the fact that court has not done so, they are saying big win for Sifuna. But let me tell you,
Mm.
why is it a big blow for Sifuna?
Mm.
Sifuna never went to court so that the court can declare whether he is the SG or not.
Mhm,
Remember, the superior organ is the NDC,
mm.
but the second superior organ is the neck. So
Mm.
when Sifuna went to court, he wanted the neck to reinstate him back as the HZ because as things stand right now, he has been relieved from his duty by the neck. So
Mm.
going forward,
Mhm,
tomorrow we are having as SDC,
mhm,
Special Delegate Convention. SDC is very urgent for ODM because right now we have Oburu, who is current party leader, the deputies, and the chairperson, Gladys Wanga.
Mhm.
Remember, it is SDC, Special Delegate Convention,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
the representation of the SDC at the NDC. Are you getting the point? It's
Mhm.
just as SDC, but look at the attenders. Yeah, at the nations. So nations from coast, nations from Wajir, nations from Nairobi, Nyanza, and all over the part of country are going to be at Jamhuri. So when the nations are going to be there, what we call NDC, National Delegate Convention, Special Delegate Convention, but look at the representation. Is a national. So once the
Mhm.
national are there, it can be SDC, but it's going to confirm the current official in the office. So, in my view, Sifuna is still going to battle it out with the party. But sometimes also we must look at the precedents. Remember the issue of Ford Kenya. Up to
Mhm.
now, go to court. There's this issue of Wamalo and Raila in court, but things have been overtaken by events. We have ODM, there was NAC, things are moving, LDP, NDP, and right now, Wamalo is no more, Raila is no more. But the case is in court. So this issue of Sifuna and ODM, you might
Mhm.
find it in court for the next 10 years. But the SDC will be conducted tomorrow. It's not going to stop SDC. At the same time, it is not going to stop ODM to
Mhm.
negotiate with Ruto. I get the point.
Yeah.
So as we are interpreting this issue,
Mhm.
we should also look at the issue of the party ODM.
Mhm.
They are not going to stagnant
Yeah.
because if one is battling its issues either internally or in court,
Mhm.
they are going to be moving towards whatever they want to do.
Okay.
Sifuna's issue is not going to stop them. So as people might have different opinion,
Mhm.
but also look at the fact that what Sifuna went to seek in court,
Mhm.
reinstatement, the court has not guaranteed Sifuna that.
Miguda, and I'll follow up with you on some of the issues that you've raised. But now, one of the things that I want to say, like here, when you look at the ruling, I'm going to play it here. It seems one to me, this is how I tend to view it. Uh, in terms of we are looking at the legal, or when we on the legal battle, it seems that these are two people who had a dispute as in family members, and they've got both of them. One of them went to court so that that the way he was being treated was not right. Then the court say this, okay, what we are dismissing this. Can you just go back and use your internal mechanism resolutions that you have so that you can solve these issues? But now, on that, the court say there's some ruling says that the removal of Sifuna cannot be gazetted or filed with the registry for now. So if the removal of Sifuna and to be registered, especially like if they remove Sifuna, they need to go to the register for the political parties to initiate those changes. And the court say that that one cannot be done until you exhaust those internal mechanism. Would we say that Sifuna has lost on that, or would we say that the Oburu camp has win? As as
Okay. Let me tell you. Remember first,
hmm,
Oburu and ODM never went to court.
yeah,
The person who went to court was Sifuna.
yes,
So this was Sifuna's case to be decided, not
hmm,
ODM case.
yeah,
So when Sifuna went as a complainant in court,
hmm,
there are things that he wanted the court to address.
hmm,
The court has failed to address those issues and referred him back to the ODM. Remember, here in ODM is where there was injustice
yeah,
against Sifuna.
hmm,
He felt injustice. That's why he ran to court. At the same time, court has not guaranteed him justice. Now he's going back he where he faced injustice. So
yeah,
when he goes back to ODM,
hmm,
where he faced injustice, in
hmm.
your own thoughts, do you think ODM are going to reinstate him back?
No,
No,
ODM,
in my own thoughts, no. They're not
that
going to
is,
reinstate back. So what I want to say by concluding is that
yeah.
when ODM decided to, ODM also, ODM did not chase him away. ODM
Mm,
was very clear that we have relieved him from his duties so that he can concentrate on politics. We have we have relieved him from the office of the SG.
Mm.
So
Okay.
I'm saying,
Mhm.
if you say that his removal cannot be ratified by the political register, it is true because even if you go back to ODM, they will
Yeah.
argue that we never removed him. We only relieved him. Are you getting
But
the point?
but
So,
now, oh, just conclude. Then I will follow up. Just conclude.
okay, I'm saying when he was relieved, he was not removed.
Mm.
And right now, you say that it must be gazetted for it to be authentic. Let me
Mhm.
tell you, when Ababu was kicked out,
Mhm.
just kicked out,
Mhm.
it was never gazetted. Sifuna took over a coup, and Sifuna today is the SG for ODM.
But
So if you are waiting for the gazettement,
but remember,
for you,
if,
yeah,
wait. Sifuna took over. It was we can call it a political coup in ODM. But what stands out, even if political the political of Sifuna, I mean, like taking a coup, but Sifuna later at the National Delegate Conference was ratified.
Ben, ni mimi ndo sikupati ama mbona wasikia mko mbali sana jamani, ama ni mimi ndo nina tatizo upande wangu?
Labda wewe uko na tatizo pande yako, kwa sababu mimi nakupata vizuri.
Oh, basi nawapata mbali sana jamaa wangu.
Hebu jaribu kuangalia mitambo yako.
it was ratified.
Yeah, so if you look at that, because like even after Sifuna came, he was ratified. There was a national delegate conference that ratified Sifuna after a long period of time, with him acting as the SG of the party after the exit of Ababu Namwamba. But let's play this and see what it has. Then we can go on with the conversation and look at the scenarios.
Some of the stories making headlines across the country. Now, Edwin Sifuna's petition seeking his reinstatement as the Orange Democratic Movement Secretary General has been struck out, that is after the political parties dispute tribunal ruled that it lacks jurisdiction to hear and determine the matter. In its decision, the tribunal directed Edwin Sifuna, Orange Democratic Movement ODM, and other involved parties to resolve the dispute through the party's internal alternative dispute resolution mechanism ADRM in good faith. The tribunal further ruled that Sifuna's removal as the Secretary General of ODM should not be filed with the Registrar of Political Parties pending the hearing and determination of the dispute before the internal dispute resolution mechanism IDRM. At the same time, the tribunal noted that its orders should not prejudice ODM's right to institute or conduct disciplinary proceedings, provided these are carried out in strict compliance with the party's constitution.
So, Migoda, based on that, because like they've also been given an order. They need to go back so that they can solve this through party, So which means from the ruling alone, it now questions that based on some of the prayers that Sifuna did, was like he was not given a fair hearing. That is some of the issues that they were raising. So they have been told to go back, So which means from the ruling, it means ODM did not use the resources that they have, especially to Sifuna. So does it mean that now he's still the SG?
Okay, let me tell you.
Mm.
When I said that there was injustice
Mm-hmm.
done to Sifuna
Mm-hmm.
in ODM,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why Sifuna went to PPDT.
Mm.
He went to PPDT because he felt that his case was not decided on just.
Mm.
At the PPDT, they have said they have referred Sifuna back to the ODM.
Yeah.
For justice to be seen done, Sifuna was supposed to be heard. So the NEC resolved to relieve him without hearing him. So he went to court. He went to tribunal.
Yeah.
Now back to ODM. Tribunal also has extended the decision to be discussed so that they can allow it to be done internally. If you go there to do it internally, it means you must be there, you must be visible as a Sifuna.
Yes.
By you appearing into the ODM internal group,
Yeah.
it demonstrates that now you are being heard. Now there's that justice. So the question I'm asking, after you have been heard, what is the outcome? Who is going to decide? You know, you have the majority. You are alone. You want them to decide on your favor. It is not going to happen. So it's just playing along. I don't want to put that the PPDP is playing along, but let me go back to the ODM because I don't want to discuss about the issues of judiciary and tribunals. The ODM is playing along because you said that your right to be heard was infringed.
Yeah.
Now the tribunals refer you back to us. Now you are going to hear from you. So Sifuna will appear before the internal mechanism. By doing so, they'll decide that, okay, after we have heard you, we still relieved you. So it's going back to the tribunal and say, okay, the directives you gave, all the orders you gave, we have followed the latter, but we are back here. Then they say, okay, because now you are heard, and this is the decision, and these are the organs. Now they'll have to concur with either the decision of the neck of the organs, or because in my view or my analysis, the PPDT does not make you SG. It is the party that make you SG and the ratification by the NDC. So no matter what, there's no way the PPDT gonna make you SG. So go to the party, resolve your issues. If the party reject, you cannot also you can as well not force yourself because the party can also decide to suspend you. Sifuna just went to court to check on his rights, the right to be heard, such things. But you understand that at the end of the day, you can a party that can decide to suspend you and you'll do nothing because the party is the superior, not the PPDT when it comes to matters of the party. So in my view, just to explore more options to ensure that it is done and concluded conclusively. That's why they have referred. But the bottom line is the NEC decision also was never interfered by the PPDT. That demonstrates that the PPDT has got no issue to interfere with the party decision because they never touched the NEC decision. At the same time, they never reinstate Sifuna back as the SG.
Okay. Thank you so much, Miguda and Msimamo. I hope you can unaweza tusikia sauti zetu vizuri. Msimamo?
Kabisa nawapata vilivyo.
Okay, asante sana nafasi ili ujiunge na sisi kwa mjadala wa leo. Mi swali langu ni je, kwa kuwa mahakama imetupilia mbali kesi ambayo yaliletwa na Sifuna kotini na imetoa maelekeo kwa ODM na Sifuna waende watumie zile nyadhifa za chama ama tuweze sema kwamba kikao za chama ambazo zinaweza kuwa za kuchukua maneno kama haya ambayo yanatokea. Kwako wewe, inamaanisha kuwa Sifuna bado ni Secretary General ama Sifuna si Secretary General?
Unajua, mimi nilijua tangi hawa nilikuwa hapa kwamba hapa ni kung'ang'ania kilichokukataa, ni kung'ang'ana kwa kile kilichokukataa, kwa sababu mahakama haiwezi amulia chama misimamo yake. Ni chama kikiamua kimeamua. So to me, Sifuna hajapata usaidizi ati pengine kwamba ndio itatambua ni SG. Sifuna si SG, chama ilimtoa, ishamtoa. Kwa hiyo ni yeye apambane na hali yake sasa, kwamba yeye CSG labda sasa aseme yeye ni memba, maana sijasikia kwamba amekatazwa kuwa memba wa ODM, basi demand as a member but not SG. So hii kwamba mimi bado ndio SG, hii kitu iliyo haitakwenda mbali kwa sababu wengi wape. Kwa hiyo ajenda hii ilikuwepo na ishatimilika. Kwa hiyo kwangu mimi sina usemi, kwa sababu nilitabiri hili na limekisha kuja sasa kupita. Ndio maana siku zile ngaa na misemo unasema Sifuna ODM mmempiga teke lakini haijamuua bado, yani nimeongezea safari. So wajipange na waungane na wale ambao wanafungana na mawazo pamoja, kwa sababu definitely ODM hiyo ishamkataa na sidhani kama hasa king'ang'anizi hiki kwamba labda vile chama kitaweza kumrejesha ZSG. Don't know, maybe pengine watakaa waangalie, wanaweza mkubalia maybe tena baka za SG, lakini kwa kweli ni sina matumaini hayo kwamba kutokana na uamuzi huu na jinsi ambavyo mambo yalivyokuwa haswa kwa chama, basi washachukua mkondo mpya, labda wamwonee imani ama wakae chini wasameheane, aendelee na kazi yake ya SG, kwa sababu hapo ndo kwenye kumaliza utata. Mahakama haingemaliza ishu ya chama.
Okay, asante sana. Miguda. Okay, Makobura, I was seeing this. Makobura was on the Makobura, habari gani?
Niko salama, nashukuru. Hali gani?
Tuko vyema, labda wewe.
Kaka niwie radhi, unajua kuna ndugu zangu kule upande wa pili nilikuwa sijasilimia, na pia ndugu zangu hawa, maana nimeuliza kwa swali direct. Kwa hiyo kuna Vivian mke zangu, kuna kama kina Ayaga na wengine waliokuwa hapa, kina Gudia na ndugu zangu wale ambao ni wote upande huu, wapokee zangu na ndugu zangu wafanye wote ambao mko kwa studio. Asante, ni hayo tu.
Okay, asante sana Makobura, endelea.
Okay.
Ama nikuulize swali?
Okay. Niko tu najaribu kuangalia hapa comment section na naona okay, sawa. I'm saying I'm okay. I thank God. Yeah. Nimekuwa tuna shughuli hapa na pale. But I thank God that everything is okay and we are moving on vizuri. Yeah, so ukileta swali nitapeana maoni yangu.
Okay, asante sana. Go ahead.
Maybe allow me to just say hi to our good friends. I can see Msimamo, Miguda. And again at the comment section, I can see Goodia, I can see Eric, Judith, I've also seen Vivian, and there's a name here I've just seen, Nicholas Chapkwon.
Okay.
And everyone who is just to remind them that over here we do say your opinion counts, but as much as your opinion counts, we can't request that we do it with a lot of respect, because everybody's opinion counts, and whenever we are giving our opinions, you know, the discussion we're having is all geared towards the betterment of this country. So we might be having political stance. We acknowledge the fact that people have different political stance, but again, let's just listen to each other. It is the best thing that we can do. But again, it is also good to listen and to hear other people's views.
All right. Thank you so much, Makobura, for that. Makobura, you know what is at stake right now, or what is the point of discussion? And there's so many people who have been giving their views based on the ruling that took place concerning Edwin Sifuna, where the court has dismissed the case challenging his removal as the SG, and there's some directive that has been given. There are those who feel like right now, since the courts actually has dismissed the case and has directed both Edwin Sifuna and ODM to resolve their dispute through party internal dispute resolution mechanism. So the question that everybody is asking, what is the position now? Is Edwin Sifuna still the SG of the party, or Edwin Sifuna is not? Check your volume, sir.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so from my understanding of the ruling that came is, I can say, the ODM party, in their own wisdom, they decided that Edwin Sifuna is no longer their party secretary general.
Yeah.
And for that reason, according to them, they had removed him. But I think the court said that, yes, as much as he was removed, there are processes that partly were not followed. Things to do with the constitution of the party is also very clear. And as much as we have the constitution of the republic, which of course overrides the constitution, the party also has its constitution, and it is very clear in that particular constitution of the party that whenever there are issues, they need to first sort the issues indoors before now exposing it or getting it out. And of course, from my understanding, I believe that they did not follow the constitution of the party, and that they made a rash move whereby they did not follow all the procedures that are laid down within their political party constitution. But instead, they opted to remove him without giving him a fair hearing, without listening to his views, and of course, ensuring that if he had gone against the constitution, then he was not even taken through the disciplinary department. And from my understanding, again, I can say that the court did direct them that first they finish. They follow their constitution. That is, they finish the mechanisms that are there, which are supposed to be used in matters of ensuring that they followed the due course as per their constitution. And so I can say that Edwin Sifuna partly survived that. And he survived that because I can say the court has saved him. That is the term that I can use. And it is upon the ODM party again now to relook into the decision that they had made before. But again, in my thoughts, and based on the constitution that I've read, the ODM constitution, on what it takes for one to be removed, I believe that they never followed their constitution. And for that reason, Edwin Sifuna is still the valid Secretary General of the ODM party, from my understanding. And as I try to give my views based on the occurrence of today.
Okay, before I invite in Miguda, because it dropped at some point, there's so many questions that I want you to also to assist us understand, because from the look of things now, it seems that ODM is still the SG from the direction, the pronouncement that have been made by the court, and you know that tomorrow the ODM is having the SDC. And one of the agenda is to ratify, especially some of those decisions that was arrived at the neck, especially giving Oburu the mandate, especially to start negotiation with like-minded parties, UDA being their first option, and at the same time, maybe to ratify Wanga and all the leadership that is there, including the deputy party leaders, And how is that one going to play? How is that one going to play, especially if the party does not believe on what has come from the courts and they go with their own view?
Okay. First, let me say that Edwin Sifuna, in many instances, he has always made it clear in this manner that I am the Secretary General of ODM party kwa mapenzi ya Mungu.
Yeah.
And I can simply say that kwa kweli he has been in that position kwa mapenzi ya Mungu. And mapenzi ya Mungu ndio imemfikisha hapa hadi leo bado yeye anaitwa the Secretary General of the ODM party. But I want to say that I know there's a meeting. Is it tomorrow or when
tomorrow.
is it? It's another tomorrow. I can say that in that tomorrow's meeting, already the members led by the party leader, they have already made a decision of removing Edwin Sifuna.
Yeah.
So either way, in that particular meeting that they're going to have, is it the NDC or what? They are still going to affirm the fact that Edwin is they're removing Edwin Sifuna. So the only I can say the only thing that Edwin Sifuna currently has is he has two options. One, attend that particular meeting of tomorrow and say that he is supporting the broad-based, or two, still maintain his political stand. If he maintains his political stand, then what is going to happen is that automatically he'll be removed. But if he changes his current stand, then I can say that they might forgive him. But as things stand, I don't think it is. There's nothing new that is going to come from that particular meeting. They are simply going to affirm the fact that they are done with Edwin Sifuna. Mostly Edwin Sifuna, because I've seen quite a number of those who are in this other team, including Winnie, including Suba MP, Suba, is it Suba North? Suba North, Millie, I think also shifted to the other side. So I can only say that that particular meeting is not going to come up with any new mechanism or any new directives, but of course the ones that we already know as a people, the ones that they have already shared via their platforms, whether at the rallies or at the press conferences that they've always had. But again, I can say that Edwin Sifuna is a politician who, of course, has currently gained quite a good following, and he has convinced quite a number of people that he can have a stand. And as much as he's being fought here and there, he's portraying some good characters, of course, that are partly similar to the students of Raila Amolo Odinga. And not just that. That again might give him some more favors when suppose he's removed from that particular position. And again, he's going to gain what we call political sympathy. This political sympathy is going to assist him in either rebranding best, and that of course will depend on the formula that he'll use together with his team. They can use that sympathy to rebrand and become the talk of town.
Okay.
So it is upon them, of course, to use the right channels, so the right formulas to ensure that they remain relevant and they be seen as the face of the position.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Makobura, for that. And I will invite Migura, then our brother.
Mi nasikia niingilie tu kaka hapa. Labda pengine kaka yangu hapa atanitoa taka za masikio hapo tu, swali dogo tu, alafu si kwamba
msimamo. Ebu angalia the audio yako, kwa sababu napata eko nikiongea. Hatuna mawasiliano vizuri sana na wewe.
Labda sawa, basi wacha nitoke alafu nitarudi.
Okay, sawa. Miguda, tukisubiri msimamo arudi, from all indication and with the SDC going to happen tomorrow, it means that what especially the factions of Wanga has been saying, that Edwin will remain the SG of the court. It seems they are not going to honor, or they're not going to adhere to some of recommendation or some of the ruling or directive that has been given from the courts. So what should Sifuna do? Because this battle of the courts is not going to end anytime soon. He's already in the chopping board. Tomorrow, they're going to chop him off from the party.
What I can say, Sifuna and ODM, it is over. It is over, and Sifuna now should move very swift, either to form his political party or to join other political parties and decide to vie. But ODM, remember, even the same ODM you are discussing here, has already projects Jalas as their senatorial candidate in Nairobi. So Sifuna is not in ODM, according to ODM people. So Sifuna is no more. Sifuna and ODM is over. And tomorrow we will come back here and you will see how events will unfold tomorrow. Like I've told you, people have traveled to Nairobi nationally, delegates, and they are going. The main issue they are saying, we are going to kick him out. That's the discussion currently. Kesho huyo Sifuna atatuona ni nani, tunamtoa kwa party. So you still want to look at the legality, you still want to look at the court process orders, but the political vehicle is already going on. The political train has left the station. So you understand. You get, no matter how, like we have been saying, no matter how you try to put it in a better understanding, like the issue of electoral justice, but you find out that people are still stealing elections. There are things that you cannot run out of. Like issues, you understand that right now we have issue with ODM. No matter how you want to put it best, that the court has dismissed the complaint to reinstate Sifuna, the court has not interfered with the NEC, but tomorrow the court has not stopped SDC. But remember, tomorrow the court has not stopped the ratification of the current leaders. So even if we are understanding the court rulings, decision, determination, but also we cannot be blinded by what is going on. We know what's going on. We know the intention. We know what the ODM people want. So we cannot be blinded that, oh, because we are in court now, Obura and the team are not going to kick him out. They will kick him out whether we go to Supreme Court or not. The same way when Gachagua was being impeached. Gachagua pleaded with the Ruto, I'm sorry. Gachagua went, but the bottom line was that they're impeaching him no matter what. So like right now, what I'm telling you, what Sifuna can do, the question you've asked me. Now, what Sifuna can do? Sifuna right now, if I could be Sifuna, I could be now what Miss Mamo told you. I could be living in reality. That in the real sense, these ODM guys don't want me. No matter how popular I am, no matter how many people are backing me, they don't want me. I'm not in their arithmetic. So I can't keep on wasting my time going to court, trying to persuade them, trying to persuade the people. I'll just have my own political path differently from ODM, so that if I sink, I sink. If I succeed, I succeed. But this all halabalo, I don't think there's anywhere in this 2027 election where Sifuna is going to preside as the ODM SG. There is nowhere. ODM is going to move minus Sifuna. And those are the reality that we have to also to check them as we analyze this policy. Not that we have to just be blinded by the fact that Sifuna has gone to court, the court has dismissed. Now Sifuna can go back to ODM, and when he goes back to ODM, the ODM people will decide he will be the SG, and now Sifuna will be the person called the NDC, and now Sifuna is going to be, and even right now, if Sifuna goes to ODM, who is going to work with him in that ODM? Nobody. Those ODM people cannot work with him right now. The same way Sifuna has said all manners of issues to Junet, you understand? And people like Junet can't allow him to come in. And for your information, I think Makubura has told this one. Tomorrow, I think tomorrow is going to be a different day for the Pro Sifuna team because a decision has been made.
All right.
Tomorrow they are going to ratify Oburu Odinga and the team as the officials for the ODM people. And after ratification, that the people are going to proceed to negotiate with UDA.
Okay. Labda ndugu yangu Msimamo, umekuja, ulikuwa na hoja ambao ulikuwa nataka kutoa. Pia nitakuuliza swali hili sasa, ujumilishe pamoja ukitoa hoja yako. Unaona kwamba ni vyema Sifuna badala ya kuenda kufanya ama kukuwa na hizi vitina vya siasa ambapo zipo, ang'atuke katika ODM, aseme bana, mimi nilijaribu, ambie watu mimi nilikuwa nimejaribu kupigania, lakini siwezi kuendelea kwa sababu sitaki kuharibu hii chama. Sasa kwa namna hiyo mimi najiuzulu, na sitaki nyadhifa, nataka tu kubaki mwana ODM, ama mimi nimewacha mambo mengi, ndawapatia habari hapo wakati mwafaka ikifika. Unadhani hiyo itamsaidia?
Asante. Hapa kakaangu amemaliza tulipata kuzungumza, kwa sababu nilikuwa na maswali haswa baada ya kaka yangu Mark kuzungumza kuhusiana na usahihi wa kisheria haswa kutumika kuweza kumuondoa kwamba ulikuwa na mapungufu hivi. Lakini huo ndio mfumo ambao tumeuona ukiondolewa haswa baadhi ya viongozi. Kwa hivyo haisaidii Sifuna kuweza kubaki pale, kwa sababu walikuwa akibaki pamoja na hiyo sheria yake ni kama ambavyo kakaangu ameliweka wazi kwamba hawamtaki. Sasa kama unafanya kazi na wenzako hawana haja na wewe, sasa hapo kuna uhadui. So kwa kweli mimi nikijibu swali lako ni kwamba hili jambo litegemea kwa Sifuna muda mrefu. Angelifanya ule bado pale haswa pamoja na mheshimiwa James Orengo na Babu Owino, wala haangwe kuwa kang'anizi na yeye kwamba ni SG, bado ni SG, lakini mwisho wa siku ODM ina mambo yake. So for real, mimi langu tu ni kwamba Sifuna yeye either tueleze sasa mwafaka na tabaki kuwa mwanachama kama nilivyotangulia kusema awali, aseme mimi mwanachama na nitabaki mwanachama. Aseme basi mimi kutokana kwamba nimesacrifice maisha yangu na muda wangu kwa hiki chama, na wenzangu naona kwamba tunakanganyana, ndugu zangu wananchi, mimi najitoa na nitawatangazia baadaye aidha nitengeneze chama ama ni chama kipi ambacho nitaweza kuungana nacho ili niendelee haswa na hii hali yangu, kwa sababu maamuzi yangu ambayo nimeyatoa haswa katika moyo wangu kwamba nitasimama haswa hapa nilipo kwa kuweza kupingana haswa na serikali, basi mimi wacha nisimame hapa, wananchi watamuelewa na wale wafuasi wake ambao ako nao watamfuata kwa moyo mkunjufu haswa, tena kwa fujo, ili kuweza kujibu haswa dhidi ya ODM ambayo haswa mtema. So wale wafuasi wake watamiminika na tutaona haswa kwamba kuna mwamko mpya, ili kusudi haswa tupishe haswa ODM nayo ifanye yake, kwa sababu already kila kitu kishapangwa. Unaona, kishapangika. Baadhi ya viongozi ambao walikuwa pengine wanapinda, umeona wameanza kunyoka kurudi haswa hapo. So ina maana hili jambo limepangwa kwa kina zaidi, si ya wananchi tunaangalia tu juu, lakini liko na maana kubwa haswa kuona kwamba Luo Nyanza imeamua kwamba itasimama na ODM pamoja na viongozi wa Luo Nyanza na watasimama na upande wa serikali. So tuone itakuwaje baadaye haswa kutokana na minyano ambayo ipo katika ODM. Kuna na Pwani na demand kivyake na Western tayari itakuwa na kovu kutokana na kuondoka kwa Sifuna. So hili kovu wataliziba namna gani? Alafu pia zile demands ambazo ziko kwa upande wa Coast na maeneo mengine, ODM itawezaje kurecover hizo ili ODM irudi haswa katika uhasilia wake ule wa zamani, ambapo najua kwangu mimi naona kwamba ni kama ndoto ya mchana ODM kurudi pale ilipokuwa, kusimama na mwananchi, kutokana sasa hivi misingi ambayo imesimama nayo ni tofauti na ile ambayo tumeizoea tulikuwa tukiiona. So tunaona ODM mpya ambayo inaamua kwenda kwa power na kuungana na serikali, na wameamua haswa kwa kauli moja kwamba tutabaki hapa liwe liwali. So kwa kweli ODM Sifuna jipange tu kule kwa king'ang'anizi, mahali ambapo hapakufai pia ni kunyima riski wewe mwenyewe. Unajua huko tunasema mtu akunyimae kunde basi kakupongezea mashuzi. Kwa hiyo nao mapakacha kuvuja, basi ni nafuu kwa mchukuzi. So maybe baada ya kuondoka, Mungu si athmani bwana, unaona, na si dhalimu. Maybe aswa ataweza kumpa mwamko mpya tofauti na ule ambao mahali yupo, kwa hivyo asiwe kikang'anizi. Sometimes Mungu ana njia nyingi aswa za kumkuza mwanadamu kutoka point A mpaka point B, na tumeiliona hilo kwa Sifuna kwamba alikuwa AC, baada ya kusimama katika hili, unaona pia wengi wanampigia upato aswa kwamba pia amefika katika sasa ngazi ile ya juu zaidi, kwa aswa katika ngazi ya juu katika hili taifa, yani zile ngazi ya juu, zile post ya juu, anafaa aswa kuwa pale. So kwa hili ng'ang'ani na hilo, kujikuza hapo, achana na masuala mazima, mimi ndio ESG, mimi ndio nini. Hii kitu tushajua kitambo nini kinaendelea hapo. Kwa hivyo ajipange haswa, alafu tuangalie hii ngoma ambayo imepangwa haswa kule Luo Nyanza pamoja na ODM itaishia wapi kufika 2027, ama what the end game dhidi ya wale wengine ambao tuko kando tukitazama haswa. Asante.
Asante sana. Naona ndugu yetu Natae Simba pia ameungana na sisi hapa. Wacha tu nisome habari ambayo yalitolewa na Philip Itale, is the Director of Communication from ODM, and this is what Itale has said. The Political Parties Dispute Tribunal has rendered its decision on the critical matters that had been presented before it by two parties. In Senator Sifuna versus ODM case, the tribunal struck out the complainant for failure to initiate the party's internal dispute resolution mechanism, reaffirming that exhaustions of internal remedies is a mandatory preconditions to the tribunal jurisdiction, and that it lacks authority to waive this requirement. Similarly, in the case filed by journalist Vincent Chepkwon against the ODM party, the tribunal declined to grant interim orders staying the next resolution of 11th February 2026, finding out that the complainant had not demonstrated that the complainant would be rendered this one is, I don't even see it. Let me see. Nugatory. Consequently, the resolutions remains the resolution remain in force, and the special delegates, so that is what he's saying. So the special delegates meeting is going to take place, and as we move forward, especially both you and Miguda have give suggestions about ODM, especially of not ODM, but to Sifuna, whether he remains fighting in the courts or he's still not going to win. And remember, when you look at what is happening right now, President William Ruto too, they are working towards working with ODM. So it means President also could be a person that is also monitoring what is happening. And with this taking place, I think like to them on their side, they've really won. Makobura, what do you have to say then? Welcome, ask Natai some questions. He's a broad-based agent, so lazima sasa umuulize mambo ya broad-based.
Yeah, maybe tumpe nafasi kwanza apeane maoni yake on that before I get back with the questions that I have for him. Nataya Simba, maybe you can give your view on that first. Simba.
Asante sana brother Ben Miguda na msimamo. Nafikiria hakuna jambo geni ambalo nitasema ambalo sijalisema. Nikiendelea kusema nitakuwa najirudia. Mimi unajua hata nashangaa kwamba kuna kesi ya Sifuna in court, eti watu wanangojea uamuzi utolewe. Nataka niwaambie hivi, kwa sababu huwa tunakutana hapa kwa hii platform, wacha niwaambie hivi. Sifuna lost long time ago. Nimefikia hapo, mwenye anataka kuuliza anaweza uliza.
Okay, so maybe Simba, what are your views on the court's decision today? concerning the same?
Nafikiria Makobura, hakuna decision ya Nyakoti itatoa kuhusu hili jambo, kwa sababu ni jambo ambalo ni la chama. Chama kili make decision. Koti hakuna uamuzi itatolea chama. Ukumbuke chama kiko owned na wananchi. So hakuna mwelekeo ambao tayari umetolewa, koti itatoa uamuzi tofauti. Chama cha ODM kimeingia in agreement na chama cha UDA to form the next government. Sifuna is against. He should do it while outside, not inside.
Sielewi hapa Mark, ati Sifuna ni wananchi ndio wamemtoa, ni nini? Siyampata vizuri Simba hapa, si wananchi ndio walifanya maamuzi?
Msimamo. Kila mtu ako na uhuru wa kujiunga na chama chochote. Chama cha ODM kimejiunga na chama cha UDA, wameungana kuform government. Sifuna is against. Si ako free. Ana fight nini ni court?
Mimi hapo sina usemi yangu Simba, kila laheri na chama cha ODM kuungana na
nimekuuliza ana fight nini ni court? While is against
the haki ya kufight kwa sababu chama kinaongozwa na sheria na sheria haijafuatwa kikamilifu, na hilo koti limethibitisha. Sijui kama hapo umepaona. Nao kilichobaki ni maguvu, mwenye nguvu mpishe. So labda Simba tuambie mwenye nguvu mpishe, na Sifuna hanabudi kwa sababu mwenye nguvu mpishe ndo ambaye yuko mbele, lakini kiukweli kwamba sheria ya kuweza kumuondoa haikufuatwa kikamilifu.
Msimamo wakati umekuwa na msimamo
kikamilifu, ana haki kwenda mahakamani haswa kuangalia haswa ili haswa liwe wazi kwa mwananchi, na mahakama imedhibitisha kweli hiyo ya kumuondoa sheria ya chama haijafuatwa kamilifu, lakini koti haina maamuzi ya kuweza kumwambia ni SG kwa sababu ni maamuzi ya chama pale pale. Kwa hivyo ni mpira umeenda tu, lakini umerudi pale pale, ila tu kwamba kweli tukubaliane kwamba hapa kumuondoa Sifuna hakujafuatwa haswa kisheria, haswa ile ya chama kikamilifu.
Msimamo. Sifuna hakupigiwa kura kuchaguliwa awe na tenya kwamba atakuwa secretary general wa chama hadi wakati fulani. Alikuwa handpicked through Professor Anyang' Nyong'o. Yeye alikuwa tu ni editor katika Standard.
Na yajua kaka yote hayo 9. Turudi hapa kwa kumwondoa Sifuna. Sheria ya chama ilifuatwa kikamilifu au haijafuatwa kikamilifu? Hiyo sheria kama alipatikana kwa pipa akaletwa, alipatikana barabarani akaletwa hapo, nani alimleta? Mimi hapo sina mashaka napo. Shida yangu nataka tuelewane hapa. Je, sheria ya chama ilifuatwa kikamilifu kuweza kumwondoa Sifuna? Ukinijibu hilo nitashukuru kaka.
Katika chama cha ODM na anaweza jiunga na chama kingine afanye siasa yake.
Kwa hiyo tumekubaliana ni mwenye mbavu mpishe sasa, kwamba ni maguvu hayo mpiga au chama ni chetu, ondoka, tutafanya tutakavyo kwa sababu huna vya kufanya. Kwa hivyo ndio hiyo sasa, lakini si sheria ambayo iko kwa chama, ndio.
Nafikiria nimekupa jibu.
Okay, thank you so much.
Simba utaondoka hujanipa jibu, kwa sababu haja yangu ilikuwa tu ni kujua sheria imefuatwa kikamilifu. That's all. La au ndio hilo tu, lakini sasa hujanipa jibu. Umeniambia Sifuna ameondolewa.
Ngojea kesho kutakuwa na delegates conference, utapata jibu.
Kwa hiyo ni miongoni Simba au nabebwa na ushabiki, si ndio?
Mimi ni mfuasi sugu wa chama cha chungwa hadi kifo.
Ushabiki, lakini ushabiki.
Mimi sijawahi ruka kamba, niko hapo hadi kifo. Sababu yeyote hapa hiyo ni kama sikio la kufa.
Haya, ndugu yangu Mark, mimi sina usemi hapo. Kila laheri ndugu yangu na Simba na Taya na ushabiki wake. Anyway, wacha tu niache hiyo tu, nirudi kwako mimi, nisiwe king'ang'anizi hapa na maswali, kwa sababu already chama ishafanya maamuzi. Sifuna ni kung'ang'ana na tumeshauri hili muda mrefu. Kwa hiyo mimi sina usemi hapo. Kwako kaka.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you so much. And maybe if we can talk about the interview that happened yesterday. That is the interview that the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua had with Ramogi TV and Ramogi Radio. Of course, a station that is largely followed by the people of Nyanza region. And of course, he had quite a lot to say. He gave his views on some of the questions that the people have been asking. And, this interview, of course, was very explosive. I can say so. Of course, he did talk about, it touched about his fallout with the President Ruto, his absence from Raila Odinga's funeral, and of course, his stance on 2027 general election. These are some of the things that he did give his views on. But now my question, the question that I want to ask you is, if we get into the specific, maybe we start with the absence from Raila Odinga's funeral, where Rigathi Gachagua explained why he skipped Raila's funeral, citing security threats and family protocol. He claimed that he had prepared to attend the elders, but ultimately stayed away. This, of course, raised questions about political optics and whether his absence was, of course, strategic or genuine. But maybe your take on that, Nani, our good friend Simba, before I let Msimamo to give his view on the same. Simba, are you there? Okay, maybe Msimamo, you can come in then.
Asante ndugu yangu Mark, asante kwa swali hilo. Mimi naweza nikasema kwanza interview yenyewe hii ilikuwa ni kama setup. But the good thing is mimi nilitaka kusikia sauti ya Gachagua ambayo ataweza kuizungumza kuhusiana zaidi na jamii. Hili la kuwa katika matanga na kwa nini hajakwenda kumwona Ida na nini, kwangu mimi naona kwamba liko nje aswa, maana sioni likiwa na tija kwangu, sababu already tayari kulikuwa na vikwazo kwamba bwana sende. Unajua mahali hata mimi ukiniambia bwana usije mahali fulani na siwezi nijilazimisha hapo, na sio nimepangiwa nini. So vitisho tunajua vilikuwepo na tofauti, hata kama zipo zao za ndani, but hazifungamani na ule ujumbe ambao nitaka kusikia jana kwenye hii interview, ambao haswa alivyoeleza. Natumii ulikuwa na mashiko zaidi, kwa sababu wao walipitia njia hizi za kuungana na kufanywa kila kitu, wakati ule baba haswa akiwa ndio kikwazo. Baada ya kwamba bwana amepata mamlaka, tumeona sasa the way mambo alijiri nao, kuba ule umetoka tena upande huu umerudi upande huu, kule ambako ulikuwa sasa kufai ndo kunafaa kwa sasa hivi. So katika hii hali lazima ujumbe alikuwa ni auweke wazi, kwa sababu in fact yeye ndio mlala na mgonjwa, anamjua jinsi anavyopumua. So amekuwa hapo, alifanya makosa hayo na ukuba huu ambao hasa sasa hivi ODM inajikaribisha nayo. Kwa hiyo ujumbe ule kama utachukuliwa na mashiko wala ngudi, au utachukuliwa na mashiko wala ngudi, but mimi nitaka ule ujumbe ufikia swala jamii, kwamba waangalie sana kwa jicho la mbali zaidi huku huba, kwa sababu mwenzako siku zote akinyolewa na wewe chako tia maji. Mlima ilishikana kama nini haswa kuhakikisha kwamba 2022 haswa serikali ya Kenya Kwanza inapata uongozi, na ulikuwa na urafiki mkubwa. So kile kimejiri Gachagua ndo anayejua. So tukiangalia tena na hili ambayo sasa hivi unaona kwamba urafiki umekuja zaidi, na mimi pia nakuwa na mashaka vile vile kwamba je, wasie pia nao wakaja wakatumika baadaye tena, kwa sababu huyu anashavuka ashangia kwa uongozi, then mambo akabadilika. Sasa hapo ndo kwenye kizungumkuti. So ujumbe ndo nataka uingie zaidi, lakini kwa kweli maswali mengi ambayo alikuwa anaulizwa na Trim na Mbeija na ule mwingine ni maswali ambayo kwangu ulikuwa ni kama yamekuwa kutu, kwa sababu hayana tofauti na zile siasa tunazisikia haswa juu ya magari zikitangazwa dhidi ya Mheshimiwa Gachagua, na sikutegemea kwamba nao wataingia katika the same trap kuweza kukamilisha maswali. So to me that interview haswa na wenye wamefanya interview haswa hususwa Mbeija aje hapo ni shabiki wake sana mkubwa haswa pale, hajanitendea haki haswa kimtazamo wangu, kwa sababu kulikuwa na maswali mantiki ambayo alikuwa anafaa kuyauliza, not only kwamba yani haikufaa zaidi ya yenyewe, kama ni maswali yale ambayo ni kama yametoka mahali. Sasa anafaa kuuliza tu for the sake, ameuliza tu kwa sababu ni wakati wa kuuliza, but angestick zaidi haswa na kumpa nafasi haswa huu mheshimiwa haswaji jieleze kwa ukamilifu zaidi. Mimi nafikiri nitaachia hapo, kaka yangu Mark. Asante.
Okay, thank you. Simba, are you there? Can you give us your take on that particular statement before we move on? And Good Yaya is saying that I don't blame Gachagua because if he attended the funeral, the political limelight would have been on him. The media would have forgotten about the funeral and concentrated on Gachagua. And Judith here is saying that Trevor was unprofessional. I hear he's a UDA aspirant. Maybe to just say something about Trevor. Trevor is, of course, a journalist, but is currently aspiring for the position of a member of parliament of Nyakach. And that's where I also come from. That's the constituency where I come from. I think he's currently in ODM, if I'm not wrong, because I've been seeing him moving around, of course, telling the people that he's interested in that particular position. But of course, he's fighting it with quite a number of people or politicians, including one called Okoth Opande. And there's also somebody called, is it Nashon Agutha? There's also Polycarp Mburo. There are quite a number of people who are interested in that particular position. And apparently they are pushing the current member of parliament, who is Honorable Adoma War, to go for the governorship of Kisumu, as they want to battle for that particular position. Yeah, so I can't say, because he's been seen on the ground. I can say that as much as he is still within his workplace as a journalist, but of course, based on the fact that he's been going out trying to entice the people, I can say he is. Then maybe he's gotten into politics as well. And that, of course, might partly explain what Judith is talking about, that he was behaving unprofessional, or you hear is an UDA aspirant. As far as I know, I think he's still in ODM, because the last time I saw him, he was appealing for support from the people while he was, in ODM. That is what I can say. Simba Netaya, are you still there? Can you give your views or we move on? Simba? Yes, good year. Trevor Mbija, the journalist who is working with Citizen TV. He wants to vie for a member of parliament in Nyakach, that is in Kisumu County. So, yeah, that's a clarification that I needed to put across. So now that a good friend has gone, maybe
Mark,
yes.
Nikiongezea hapo, na ndio maana hiyo interview haingemfaa, kwa sababu already ashaingia katika damu ya kuweza kuwa mwanasiasa. Unajua pia lazima hakutakuwa na ule uulizaji maswali wa kikamilifu, kwa sababu mwisho wa siku ukiona kwa mfano ni chama chako ndicho ambacho unataka kugombania nacho na kuna mambo yanabana kidogo yanaweka sawa. Ndio maana hii interview haikuwa katika mkutano ule ambao haswa unafaa kimtazamo wangu. So ni hili kwamba kumbe ni mgombezi, sikuwa najua kwamba anawania. So kumbe huyu ilikuwa ni mwanasiasa kwa mwanasiasa wanaulizana maswali jana, sikuwa nafahamu hilo, na that's why tulikuta kwamba kuna hayo mapungufu kidogo hapa na pale. Asante.
Okay, thank you so much, Bwana Msimamo. And yeah, I think I've given that clarification. And maybe to just ask you maybe to just add something on it. Of course, we saw him clashing with the journalists, the two journalists, that is Trevor and the other. And of course, during that interview, Gachagua shared with the journalists, of course, accusing them of being Ruto's lawyers. I remember Ruto. I remember him saying that, "Are you speaking for the president? Has he sent you?" or something similar to that. And I remember he refused to retract the controversial remarks. And of course, he did again dismiss concerns about leadership standards that were read to him by Trevor Mbija under the Chapter 6 of the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. So this, of course, highlights his defensive posture and, of course, willingness to confront this particular journalist. Yeah, so unless Msimamo unataka kuongeza something on it before we move forward.
Mimi sikatai kwamba labda pengine maswali haya yalikuwa, lakini aliweza kuyaeleza, sema kwamba hakupewa tu jinsi, hakupewa sikio wa kuweza kuyaeleza. Unaona, yani kulikuwa na kule kukatizana, yani maswali hapa na hapa, toa ushahidi, una mahali unaweza fanya hivi, chunga lugha yako, unajua kuna hivi, such a kind of arguments, to me it is so kwangu mimi naweza nikasema sina cha kuongeza pale, kwa sababu muhimu ni ile message nilikuwa nataka itoke tu kutoka kwa Gachagua towards Luo community, na hii game ambayo ipo, kwa sababu mwisho wa siku ujue kwamba katika hili taifa tunahitajiana wote, haswa ni vile vile kama mkono huu, mkono, vidole vya mkono huu, yani tunahitajiana kwa njia moja ama nyingine, ili haswa kukamilisha haswa uwezo wa mkono kufanya kazi yake haswa na kusimama haswa. So it's like hili taifa linahitaji sote, jamii zote, hakuna jamii ndogo wala jamii kubwa, so it's like tunahitajiana vile. So wanasiasa wasitumie kisha mwisho wa siku tukuja tukajipata haswa tunaingia katika hali kwamba kumbe hao jamaa wako hivi, kuwekeana hizo boundaries, then ile halitaleta shangwe kabisa kwangu. Tumii
Thank you so much, and allow me to just read some few comments over here, and especially the one for Judith, who is saying this journalist became tough when interviewing Gachagua. And okay, there's this good friend of ours hapa anasema Trevor Mbija was extremely emotionally attached to the questions and was always busy with his phone checking on whoever was sending him the information or the so-called questions. Okay, yeah, and I think that's what the reason might be explained by what I just mentioned a few minutes ago. That of course he's also joined the race as a politician. So, and remember, when he's standing or he's vying using these other political parties, then there are possibilities that he might take sides. That is why, of course, we do say that there are certain positions that if you are holding, then you have to be as you have to maintain, you have to be very fair so that you don't find yourself in situation where where people are asking questions that cannot be clarified. Goodyear is saying that I think Trevor Mbija was right to stop him using the vulgar language. The interview was fair enough because he said he would do the same to Ruto. Okay. Quite a number of different, views. Judith here is saying that he wouldn't do the same to Ruto. Goodyear, trust me. Okay. Yeah, so continue giving us your views as well as we proceed, or as we, of course, maintain this particular discussion. And the next thing that I want to to speak partly about is maybe Miguda. Allow Miguda to also give his views now that he has joined. Miguda, we've given our views on the clash that Rigathi Gachagua had with the journalist, and we are simply giving our views about the interview that was held by Ramogi TV. Rigathi Gachagua while he was being interviewed by the Ramogi TV journalist. And he did give his view about the absence from Raila Odinga's funeral, where Gachagua explained why he skipped Raila's funeral, citing security threats and family protocol. He claimed he would have prepared to attend with elders, but ultimately stayed away. And of course, this raises questions about political optics and whether his absence was strategic or genuine. And you'll give us your view on that, Miguda. We've also given our views partly about the clash with journalists, where during the Ramogi TV interview, Gachagua clashed with Trevor Mbija and the co, accusing them of being Ruto's lawyers or speaking for the president. He refused to retract controversial remarks, and of course, he did dismiss concerns about leadership standards that were being raised by the journalist, that is Trevor Mbija, under the Chapter 6 of the Constitution, that is leadership and integrity. And of course, this highlights the defensive posture and willingness to confront the media, the journalists direct. In your own way, Mr. Miguda, what are your views on those particular moves by Rigathi Gachagua?
First, I want to say that him missing in action during the burial of Raila Odinga, it is strategic and it was proper because you understand the mood was against him, the Raila base. So if we could have attended, we could have been speaking of other things today. So it was good and wise for him to retract. And actually, he was advised. There was only because you understand the way the ground was hostile against him. So there was no need for him to attend, in my view, because we don't need more commotions, more injuries, more deaths, and already we are burying somebody. And even you heard people saying, if you can land with the chopper, within a milliseconds, people will be at Opoda Farm. And also, you cannot compel somebody to attend a funeral, in my view. You cannot compel somebody to attend a funeral. And also, you cannot compel somebody to mourn someone, because people have different views on how to do their things. So I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so, because in my view, even when Kibaki died, there are people who never attended Kibaki's funeral, but they have not been subjected that. Even when Moi died, some people never attended. Everybody cannot attend Raila's funeral. Even Obama never attended. Even Museveni was not there. Even Samia Suluhu. So that everybody cannot attend. You must also get it right that even if you are the superhero, but everyone cannot attend your funeral. Even Jesus Christ of Nazareth, not all Jews attended Jesus' funeral. So you understand. So sometimes, to me, it was not a compelling reason that he had to attend. So that is proper. And also he explained that he called the wife. So how they talk with Hida is up to them. I don't delve much into it. What I want to say concerning Trevor Ombija, and this is my thought. Trevor Ombija, yesterday, he never allowed Gachagua to respond or to give us details information, because at times he cuts Gachagua, because we want Gachagua to be open and say it as it is, but he distracts Gachagua at some point. At some point also he tried. It was too much on him, to be fair, because there was that room for you ask me a question, you listen, I explain to you, then you ask me a question, you listen, but you cannot ask me a question, then in the process of responding, you are distracting me, you are objecting, you want me to answer the questions on your way. This is how you want me to answer your questions. So when today you ask me a question about Sifuna, and I've said Sifuna, the ODM family don't want him. But you want me to say that ODM family wants Sifuna. You know, we are not making any progress. Sometimes you have to allow the respondent to speak, even if he's lying, even if he's speaking. That's why we want to listen from him. You know, we cannot think the same, that because as for me, I want Sifuna to stay. But that's not the case. Oburu and Wanga, Junet don't want him. So you can't force the discussion that Sifuna is going to be in the SDC, NDC, and SG. So you can't force. So allow Gachagua to speak, in my view. Then you'll have a room to revert later, whereby you can also have some clarification that on this one you need to explain, on this one you need to explain, on this one. And also in Kenyan system, Kenya is a litigant society. If in case he provoke anybody, or by chance he defame anybody, there's a court process. He will be taken through court process. So I don't see this pressure by journalists that when you invite me or I invite you, I must answer the questions on how you want to be answered, or I must answer the question on your interest. I must answer the question your way. Whereas if I answer the question on how I view things, you are objecting me, don't give me time. To me, that one was very wrong in my view. If there's no need of you inviting me or I invite you, then you want me to just do your ways. It can't happen. You must balance. It must be a neutral ground whereby you ask me a question, I listen, I respond to you. And let me tell you, Makubura, the way I'm going to respond to your question is not the way you have asked me. And there's no obligation that I must respond to your question the way you have asked me, or I must respond to your question the way you want me to respond to your question. I can respond in the way I like it, because maybe to you, 6 is 6, but to me, 6 is 9. So you cannot convince that it is 6, but me, I'm seeing 9. You are seeing 6, 6, I'm seeing 9. So why do you want me to be on your side? So there I can say that Gashagwa, there was not enough time for him to respond. Like me, I was very much interested. I wanted to listen to him explaining some issues, like the issue of SGR, like the issue of power sharing. But before even he explained to us into details the issue of power sharing between him and Ruto, or the issue of power sharing between Ruto and Oburu, already Trevor Mbija has interjected. So that's why I want to say, Trevor Mbija, who is my brother and your brother Makubura, failed to allow the respondent. Even if you go to the court of law today, they will allow the petitioner to submit his case. And the petitioner must be heard in silence. Then the respondents will also submit the defense. And it must be heard in silence. Then during the ruling or the decision, the court will be heard in silence. But this is a scenario whereby, like even here in our studio, you speak, you pause, I respond, I pause. If not respond, you pause. But there is no room whereby if I'm having a time to submit my answers, then you want me to answer the way you want me, what you want to hear. And if I'm answering the way I'm viewing my answers, you are interjecting me. We are not going to work that way in this country. So Makubura, let me tell you one thing. Me, I believe that it was not fair. The host could have allowed the guest and give the guest room. Some people were very keen on certain issues. We wanted to hear concerning the issues of corruption because he was inside. He knew more about what happens. We wanted to hear concerning the issue of power sharing. We wanted to hear how this issue of attack by president and Gachagua. But we were not given that time. So we miss a lot as audience. Audience missed a lot. So we need another time. So we need another time as audience. Because we need to hear more about the current president and the deputy. So I think there, to me, I can say there's no way you want to decide for people what they do. But you think you are the only person who is right. Anything you ask, I must answer your way. But if I answer the way I know it, I'm your enemy. I think that is how I can respond to that question.
Kaka Mark, niongezee kidogo hapo kabla maneno mawili yanitoke hapa kwa ndugu yangu hapa nani Miguda. Kwa kweli hakika umezungumza, ndipo tulihitaji kusikia. Unajua sometimes tuna watu wanachukua tuna ile hulka kwamba fulani hafai, lakini huyo asiyefaa sometimes pia anafaa kwa upande mwingine. Mimi namuelewa fika Gachagua alivyo kwamba mtanza hata asimame urais hizi mpa kura yangu sababu najua tayari ndio na ule wakati ule. Lakini kuna mambo ambayo tunahitaji anazungumza na anatokea. Tukumbuke kwamba Gachagua ndo alipiga ukelele wa e-Citizen. Nao tumekuja sasa jana ndio mjadala upo. Jinsi mapeni yanavyopotea haswa ya umma haswa kwenye e-Citizen, but the first person ambaye aweza kulizungumzia hili la e-Citizen ni Gachagua. So kuna mambo ambayo tunahitaji tuyasikie kutoka kwa huyu kiongozi haswa yanayofungamana na taifa. So kubanwa haswa nafasi unaulizwa maswali mpaka sometimes sema yeye ni sawa. Mimi pia ni mwenye kwaya ndiye huyu, sisi mwingine lazima tumfuate akiimba kwa sababu yeye ndo ambaye anaimba, ndio mwenye kipaza sauti. Kwa hivyo akibwaga wimbo na sisi tunachukua, na ndio hivyo ilivyo haswa katika wanasiasa. Sasa leo hii unauliza maswali ambayo hayana tija kiasi kwamba mimi kwa kweli sikuona nikimalizia sikuona kwamba kuna interview ambayo ilikuwa ina ukomavu, ilikuwa na ushabiki ndani, na kwa kweli hakupewa room kikamilifu kuyapata yale ambayo tulikuwa tunahitaji hasa kutoka kwa Gachagua, kwa sababu kweli naamini hafai, lakini sometimes kuna mambo anazungumza ambayo anatufaa. Kuna mambo ambayo anatufaa. Kwa hiyo mimi nitaongezea tu hapo kaka, asante.
Okay, thank you so much Bwana Msimamo, and as we proceed, the no apology to Ruto. Gachagua insisted that I have no apology to give to anybody. He framed his remarks about Ruto as a truth-telling, positioning himself as a bold critic rather than a repentant ally. We remember the kind of word that he used while giving the description of the president. Maybe Msimamo, what is your take on that?
Kande, I did not get the exact sikulipata vizuri hili swali lako Kande. If unaweza niuliza tena ili ijenge hoja vizuri. Max, kama umepotea na wewe pia. Mtaniambia comment section kama unapatikana.
Msimamo Makobura. Okay, thank you very much. I'm here. Msimamo.
Sorry for that. I thought Msimamo had my question, and it seems he didn't get it clearly.
Ulikuwa unamuuliza swali gani?
I've asked him about the Ruto. I mean, Rigathi Gachagua saying that he has no apology to the president, where he did insist that I have no apology to make to anybody.
Yeah.
You know, these remarks he was making after he had been asked about the language he used, more so the body shaming and, the language that, according to the journalist, the question that actually brought the chapter 6 on the issue of leadership and integrity. And Rigathi Gachagua did say that he's the one who actually wanted the president to get out of his, the presidency box, and it gets into it's normal. He was asked about that particular statement, asked about the comment, I mean the language that he used in terms of the body shaming, but he said that he has no apology to make. And that, of course, brought me to this question. Why haven't we gotten to this extent? And these are remarks that are coming from the top political leaders, the president, the former deputy president, and again, to the people, to the young political leaders, or to the leaders who are holding different positions. And of course, to the entire citizen. What kind of picture are they sending to the people? And again, Kenyans are not just Kenyans. The world has always known that leaders, when you are given an opportunity, there are points. I mean, there are some languages that you are not supposed to use as a leader, because as a leader, is supposed to be unifying. These are people who have been elected by people from different regions, people having different interests. And whenever you use certain words, of course, it brings a lot of enmity and, a lot of thinking amongst the people. What exactly was Rigathi Gachagua trying to mean? And the general view, in your own way, what are your views about this behavior by the political class?
Okay, Makobura, there's something here that we have to agree. What we experience, or what we saw between the president and the opposition, united opposition, or in the political arena, it has always been like that, especially in our politics. Our politics is usually a politics of insults, or body shaming usually takes the center stage. But one thing that we have to agree, we would say as compared to Raila Odinga knew the limit where he can reach, and even if it comes to insulting, there's that boundary that Raila would put in place, as compared to the president William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua and other political leaders, and even people like Junet who usually speak, Oscar Sudi and the rest. One of the things that this one explains to us, it explains to us how our politics has reached the core of moral decay. We do not have morals, especially when it comes to politics, and our politics is not about issues, especially when we go to the political rallies. It involves insults and all that. But now, when you look at Rigathi Gachagua and President William Ruto, and I want to bring you back to the Constitution, the president has been given the power by the people. And the people who have given the president the power are all manner of people, be it fat, short, thin, all that, all manner of the people have given the president power, and he has an office that he has to hold. So, and his work is to make sure that he takes care of his people, including the opposition. You know that, because like president is the father of the nation. So, being that is in the office, is an office bearer. Being that is an office bearer, he has to find a way of working it out, because he has been given the mandate by the people. He has an office, as vis-a-vis Rigathi Gachagua, who was even impeached. He doesn't have any office that he can be accounted to. So that is that. But that one does not mean even the united opposition can go too low and attack the presidency, because it's a two-way traffic. You have to respect the presidency, and the president also has to respect the presidency. So it's just a matter of the political decorum amongst themselves. But because you know that our politics is about emotions, what they want to do, they want to whip emotions of the people. Remember, President was talking about impregnating and killing of these young girls. What does that one mean? Yeah, if there's an evidence and somebody has just lost his life at the hands of a political leader, there are legal remedies that can be taken. And the president should initiate even the private investigator to make sure that matters is brought to book, and the children, those families get justice. But now, if we bring the death of Kenyans who that is alleged that might have passed in the hands of the political, within them in the political arena, then how do we make sure that the children or that family get justice? Justice cannot be found within the insults, the framework of insults, but it is found within the framework of our constitution. Yeah, and we have courts that can litigate that, and the president is at a better position to make sure that he uses the powers that is given by the constitution and the power of his office to make sure that a fresh investigation is initiated and the perpetrator is brought to book. So that is one. So all of them, we have to blame them, but the president takes a big chunk of responsibility.
Okay, thank you. I can see Goodyear is saying that I tell your girlfriend to call later. Goodyear, it's not girlfriend. Ni mambo ya dunia, ni mengi. I would not even attempt unless it's something. Anyway, yeah. Let me get back to the questions. Maybe Nani, our good friend Msimamo has not given us his view on that. Msimamo, if you're there, would you? Msimamo?
Mimi nipo, kwani nasikiza kakaangu hapa Ben. Mimi nasema hivi, kuna heshima ya kuitafuta na kuna heshima ya kujileta. Kuna heshima ya kuitafuta, lakini vile vile kuna heshima ya kujileta. Heshima ya kujileta ni kuyafanya yanayofaa. Unaona, yani bila shaka hii heshima itajileta yenyewe, utaheshimika tu. Matamshi, matendo yako yani yanatija. Matamshi, matendo, mwenendo, tabia, desturi. Sasa hii ndio inaleta ile heshima ya kujileta. Lakini heshima ya kutafuta ni ile wazi, unajua hujafanya, yani umefanya lisilofaa, lakini kwa sababu una mamlaka, basi unakuta kwamba lazima watu waamini, kwa sababu una mamlaka, basi watii kwa lazima, hata usipofanya yenye tija. Sasa hii ni ile heshima ya kulazimisha na ya kutafuta lazima. Kwa nini nazungumzia hivi? Hii heshima imevunjika tangia pale mwanzo, haswa kutokana na ahadi ambazo zimeweza kuwekwa masikioni kwa Mkenya, ikiwemo gasi ya 300, ikiwemo internet haswa kila mahali na everything, mambo mengi ambayo yameweza kuahidiwa, but utimilifu ukawa sasa ni finyu. Then sasa badala kwamba labda pengine utimilifu, kunagundua kuna mambo mengi ambayo yanaenda kama vile SHA, mambo mengi tu ambayo sasa tunakosa majibu. Unajua, hapo ndo unakuta heshima ilianza kushuka, na haijashuka kwa viongozi akina Gachagua, ishuka kwa Gen Z.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. I can see Goodyear is saying respect is a two-way traffic. Sorry? Bwana Msimamo? Could it be my internet, Brother Benson? Or it's Msimamo's?
I think it's a problem. Maybe it could be with the Msimamo side. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Kaburu.
Yeah, I was just reading this comment from Goodyear. We're saying it's a two-way traffic and should be earned, which, of course, I agree. It should be a two-way traffic, and of course, it should be earned. And, you know, leadership comes with a lot of things. If you are going for leadership, then there are things that you have to do. You have to, of course, respect the people. You have to act in a way that, you know, the people that you are leading would learn something from you. You have, even if you have bad characters, you have to try your level best to maintain. That is what leadership is all about. And if we've gotten to a point where the president, the deputy, you know, they are body shaming each other, and the top leadership of the country, there are so many questions which are then coming up, that which kind of, which kind of, you know, setup are you trying to give to maybe the young people? You know, what would you expect of when you see as an adult or as a senior person walking around and then you see children abusing each other? What would be your comment and how would you take it? And if we got to a point where everybody everywhere in the entire country, watu kila mtu anataka kutusiana, kila mtu anataka kusema vile yule kichwa yake inatoshana, you know, how would we as a country, you know, which kind of, I don't know even how to explain it. To me,
no, Makubura, wacha nikusaidie kidogo. Unakumbuka wakati ambapo kizazi kipya walikuwa wameenda maandamano, wakarudi wakaanza kutumia mtandao kuchapisha hata picha za watu mashuhuri katika nchi, katika jeneza. Unapata kwamba wengi wa wanasiasa walikuja wakiwa katika mkutano wa hadharani, walikuwa wanasema kwamba wazazi wafunze watoto wao wakuwe na adabu. Yeah. Sasa kama hao maviongozi ndio walikuwa wanasema kwamba watoto wanafaa wafundishwe wakuwe na adabu, wasifanye matendo kama hayo. Na hapa inakuja unapata viongozi ambao wako na nyadhifa ama wale ambao washakuwa katika nyadhifa kubwa ndio wanasema maneno ambayo labda mtoto ama watoto ambao walikuwa wanaambiwa wakuwe na adabu ni jambo ambalo labda ama hawawezi sema. Sasa unapata kwamba hiyo ni kushusha hadhi, tuseme kwamba uongozi. Unasema kwamba uongozi haina maana, hawajiheshimu kama maviongozi, vile vile hawaheshimu watu ambao wanawaongoza. Yeah, hiyo ndio kauli mimi naweza sema.
Okay. I agree with you, and I remember some of them coming or going to an extent of saying that those people who looks like they're indisciplined should be killed or should be shot on the air, on the leg. And particularly I also saw some member of parliament saying that if he was the one in the top leadership, then wale wote ambao wako na that, the people who are showing the indiscipline or, you know, behaving in a way that according to him is not right, if it was him, he would have ensured that 1,500 of them were down. And, you know, those statements were made in the Parliament of the Republic of Kenya. And the question that then people ask is, what kind of leadership do we really have in the Republic of Kenya? Anyway, that is maybe a discussion for another day, or maybe you.
Makobura, let me tell you,
Yes.
this is something that I've concluded. I might be wrong in my conclusion. One of the things, one of the things that we failed this country. Everybody has failed this country in um, big time. Starting from the leadership, those who have been given the mandate to lead, and those who have given the position also to lead, and the people who have been employed in various sectors actually to assist in the growth of this country. They've failed it big time, and even the voters. Because let's say, for instance, when you come to people that have been given the mandate to lead, you find that these people sometimes they do not have the interest of the people at heart. They do not have the interest of pushing for what is right for the country. Whereby the allegiance they play, they don't pledge allegiance to the country, but they pledge allegiance to their masters. You know, uh, just to bring you to speed. There are things that the political parties or having political differences cannot solve. Yeah, it cannot solve. Political parties do not solve the issues that we have, but the people who are solving these issues that we have are the leadership and the system that are put in place. If they are working, then it 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 makes the country move forward. For instance, let's just begin. We have SHA, yeah, and the statistics show that the SHA, so many people have registered for SHA, right? And you find that when you talk about SHA, some of the achievement that the leaders are quoting, they're saying that, okay, so many people have registered as compared to NHIF. That is true. But what is the idea of so many people registering, yet maybe the SHA is not working? So what purpose does it serve? So which means the system is not working. Come to education. The other time we were talking about here education, we're just looking at the money that has been allocated to education. We talk about those who are in high learning institutions like universities. We talk about secondary TVETs and all that. But did you know, in education, if you look at Kenya educational system, we have people, especially children with disabilities. Do you know that there's no way they're catered for? And we are still talking about education. Tell me of any institution in Kenya where, or any budget allocation, even in the counties or even in the national government, whereby they are saying, okay, out of this kind of billion that has been allocated to education, we need 20% to go with the children with the disability. Got even to those schools that we have, the provision, especially accessibility to the children with the disability in these schools that we have, including the ones that are in my village, they do not have that accessibility. The provision are not there. Let's say, for instance, we have somebody who is using the wheelchair. Do they have accessibility to those buildings? No. Come again to the infrastructures in school. You go to these schools that have domes. Some of them have like second floor. They have 2 floors. You look at the mechanism of how, in case of fire, how do they exit? They have one exit. Yeah, and even those who are at the upper floor, there is no way they can exit. They have one exit or one staircase that you want to exit with. Still, we are talking about education. Come again to health. And I'm telling you, from the experience, Makobura, whether President William Ruto has brought SHA, whether any administration will come up with another issue to do with the health sector is very complex for Kenya to handle. And I still don't see any leader who is going to get it. Because one, let's talk about SHA. If you want very good service provision, especially when it comes to health, you have to let everybody, and this is that the Kenyans, the Kenyans also should understand that you have to let everybody purchase their own insurance. And if they purchase their own insurance, the government should not control the health sector. The very moment that the government is going to control the health sector, then that is how it's done. That's why you find that when there's a strike, all the doctors will strike because this entity are owned by the government. But in a developed world, you find that the health sector, especially when it comes to provision of health, the government, what the government will do, they will try to bring in legislation to control hikes in medical prescription and come out with even come out with that they come out with laws that govern this private sectors who are providing the medical services. That one, it will work. But right now, it will not. And I don't know who is going to assist with that because, like, come about how you pay the doctors and the nurses. You know, if they go on strike, they go the whole country. Come about how the medication are being disbursed. You still have KEMSA, which is controlled by the government. That is what is doing the distribution, especially in majority of the hospital. You go to this hospital, they will say, okay, we've distributed. At how many times have we find ourselves, especially if our loved one visit hospitals, we go and buy medication outside? So many times. And that's why I'm saying things like even prescription should be covered by the insurance. So when you go to the hospital in a very developed way, what this is they do, they prescribe for you. You go to this particular pharmacy, your insurance cater for that, and you also have what we call a copay. Then it have the system is working. But for now, my friend, I tell you, whether new administration come in place, if the system is not changed, the problem will always be there. That's what I think.
Okay, that's a good. I can say that's a good check on that particular statement or issue.
Yeah.
And yeah, so maybe Gachagua talked about 2027 general election where he dismissed fears of rigging, saying 2027 polls cannot be rigged. At the same time, he accused Ruto of hoarding IDs, which could disfranchise voters. This, of course, is contradicting his politically charged and worthy, his political stance, which are, of course, currently people are giving quite a number of views on. So maybe if you can as well give us your view on that. And yes,
that's why I tell you that we still have problem with our system. If you look at our electoral system and our election, one of the major issue that we've always been dealing with each and every election cycle is about the vote rigging. Yeah. And the vote rigging, we only talk about it immediately after casting our votes and during the counting. That is when we say that somebody has stolen the election. But we have to look at the processes of how even we find ourselves in election or voting. First of all, the preparedness. How are we prepared? Is only in Africa and in Kenya, whereby you find that the ballot for governors cannot be printed during an election. Remember what happened in 2022 general election, whereby the slots for governor for Mombasa and Kakamega did not happen. They had to happen after all other elections had been carried in other areas. What does that one tells you? That one tells you that incompetency and the processes that we use. Vote rigging especially you cannot rule it out. Yeah, and it's not only by stealing or printing more IDs. There are so many ways in which you can rig the election. Election can be rigged through suppression of votes. You suppress the votes. Two, creating environment that is not favorable, especially for your opponents. And we've seen that, especially during the during the by-elections that we had. What happened in Mbere North during an election, where the violence, Malaba, the violence that we saw. So when we have such like violence, what it does, it creates an environment where is not peaceful or is not safe for the voters. So, and you find that when that one, when the environment come unsafe to the voters, then what happens? You find that the voter turnout is going to be low. And maybe if that particular area is aligned to one political party, it means that despite that, the party that is aligned will get some votes. So that is one. The other issue that they were talking about vote rigging is about the declaring the polling stations. Where are the polling stations going to be, so that people know? So those are some of the things that might cause or might result to vote rigging. So vote rigging is not only like when you go to the votes and now you say that, okay, tunahesabu anachukua yangu 10 anapeleka huko. No, that is one of them. But there are so many ways in which the vote rigging can take place. So that is something that also we have to say. I don't know, Marco Bura has left. But that is there's also some discussion that people are having about the way in which the interaction or the way interview was conducted, and people are pointing out the interaction between Trevor Ombija and Rigathi Gachagua, whereby there are quite a number of people who believe that Trevor was biased, and there are quite a number also believe that Trevor did a good job. And let me point for you, this is my takeaway. One, the opinion that everybody is giving is based on where you are at. If you are that person who does not buy into or does not align himself with the politics of Rigathi Gachagua, then you will say that Trevor was biased. Again, if you are that person, no, if you're a person that aligns with Rigathi Gachagua, you say Trevor is biased. And if you're a person that is not with Rigathi Gachagua, you will say that Trevor was okay. But now, there are few issues that so many people have raised. And maybe especially when you look at on the Trevor side, one of the point that people raised was about Trevor is aspiring to vie for a political seat in an ODM ticket. Yeah? So which means he's aligned to the ideology and everything that ODM is doing. And since my majority of the Linda ground do not align themselves with the ideology or the political side of Rigathi Gachagua. So people were pointing out and say that, okay, it could have been better that Trevor Ombija could have recused himself from that panel that had a conversation with Rigathi Gachagua, bearing in mind that he's an aspirant in ODM. That's how those were aligned to Rigathi Gachagua are saying. So that was one way in which they feel. But to be very sincere, there are kind of some issues that Trevor actually pushed Rigathi Gachagua to the wall, and he would have answered those, because like as somebody who wants to ascend to power or want to lead the nation, there are some of the pronouncements that you've made that when you go to the public, especially in television, it is an opportunity for you to say that, okay, I apologize, or this were made because of this. So those are some of the, but what we have to agree that this was politics, and politics has to take the sense that the people have to go high. So there's something also that maybe I can mention before we wind down. Kenyans ODM faces parallel conference over Sifuna outside. As the tribunal ruled Thursday that Edwin Sifuna challenge to his February removal as ODM Secretary General must first go through the party internal dispute process, keeping him in the role temporarily while allowing disciplinary step. ODM plans its official special delegates conference at Jamhuri grounds to ratify his ouster, appoint Catherine Tomanyo as the acting general secretary, hailing the ruling as a win for party democracy. Sifuna allies, including MP Babu Owino under the Linda Mwananchi banner, will hold a rival People's NDC at Ufungamano House, calling the official event illegitimate. The split raises concern about unity before the ODM election. Makobura, this is high take, especially for Sifuna. And and do you know the reason why I'm just, from the look of things, and we discussed it earlier, ODM is not going to allow Sifuna to come back, whether he goes through the processes mechanism of dispute resolution in the party, because the people who Edwin Sifuna is going to go through these processes are the same people who, or were the same leaders who went to who held a NEC meeting and decided that Sifuna is not going to be the SG. And you have to understand what is at stake here. What is at stake here is not even about the internal wrangles. It's about the politics of 2027. That is what is at stake. One, the president needs ODM, the same time the ODM needs the president. Because if to say today, Raila Odinga was alive, I do not think that the speed at which, or the way some of the leaders, especially from Linda Ground, are speaking or are talking, they could have not been talking like that. But since that absence of Raila Amolo Odinga, that's what's going to happen. And Sifuna also has made it clear that he cannot support President William Ruto. So I think the favorable thing for Sifuna to do is for him just to resign and leave the matter. Don't engage into court, And I don't think even going forward, ODM will give Sifuna a certificate to vie for Nairobi senatorial seat, or if he wants to vie for any political seat. I don't think it will be easy for ODM to give him that seat. So Sifuna, what he needs to do, he needs to start his political journey. And start on how he's going to transverse the challenges that comes outside the umbrella of ODM. And he has to rewrite a history, because we know, especially like President William Ruto, when ODM was not his cup of tea, he left. See where it is right now. President William Ruto is, there's no difference between President William Ruto, who left ODM, and Edwin Sifuna, because both of them were not agreeing to the policies and the ideology at that particular moment in time. Yeah, that's why President William Ruto left, and he created his own path. Today is a president from ODM. The same as Ababu Namwamba, who some rumors say that he might be coming back as the SG of the party. But when he was kicked out of the party, he charted his own ways. He worked with the president. He's been appointed several times, Mudava did the same, was in ODM. Balala, remember Balala? He was in ODM. He went to work with President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. He was given ministerial position or CS position during Uhuru administration. So there's so many people who have walked out of ODM. Some, bad luck, have killed their political careers. Some, by good luck, are still active in their political career. So Edwin Sifuna now, it is a moment that he should choose. Instead of fighting all these battles, he will still remain the SG of the courts, the way Wanga said. Or the ways yesterday Wanga was saying when she was at the show, Edwin Sifuna will remain the SG of the courts, or is the SG of the courts. So, and he cannot also, remember now you're dealing with a system. You know that President William Ruto and ODM are working together, and William Ruto is the president, and the president has more resources and has more powers, that fighting him is not going, you're not going to win. Yeah, you've made your position clear that you're not going to support the president, and you're not a two-term, you're a one-term. Then align yourself now with people who share your ideology, because your ideology and your way now, the way you think based on the leadership now of ODM, they tend not to have the same school of thought with you. So that is what I would say. Makobura. So okay, that is that. As I wait for
I totally agree with the statement that you've made, and that's why I did say in my take that Edwin Sifuna currently has two things.
Yeah,
he either joins the broad-based and declare that he is supporting the president, or he leaves. If he leaves, he has several options, of course. Forming a political party, joining the current opposition political parties, or even deciding not to get into any political party, maybe independent. He has quite a lot he has quite a lot of options to make. But what I can say is that as things currently stand, and of course as the political temperatures are also getting higher, it is not going to be possible for him. And he should not expect something positive within ODM.
Yeah.
And again, we've seen not once but several times, we've heard that the courts or the judiciary has been captured by the executive. We've had similar cries that the parliament has also been captured. All those are signs that it is not going to be possible or easy for him to maneuver. But again, he's going to, if suppose the way we are seeing the courts are partly making him relevant, after some few days or after some few months or years, he's going to be frustrated. He's going to receive a serious frustration to an extent that whenever he'll be going to whichever place, he'll be receiving similar treatment, similar to what we are seeing regarding Gachagua and his close allies are receiving. But of course, we've started seeing. We've seen them whenever they're having rallies. We've seen tear gas. We've seen police. All those things are things that he should expect. That is, if he decides that he is moving away of the broad-based. But again, what I can say about Edwin Sifuna, just like I'd mentioned before, he behaves like a strong politician. He behaves like a politician who can have a stand. The only question he'll ask is to how long or for how long will he maintain that particular stand or that particular posture that he's currently having? Is he going to kneel down for the pressure, or is he going to stand firm as the waves will be coming? Those are the questions that we are asking. But above all, we've seen the main rate at which politicians or political naysayers are being bought by this government. The other thing we are waiting is if he is offered billions, will he accept and join the government? Or will he come out to say that he is with the people as he has always stood?
You know, Makubura, something that especially that our politics is all about, and even from the voters, there's this issue that's it's usually a favor that that we always, or people think, people always know that, especially when you get those what people say about Sifuna on how he was made, that for him to be relevant in politics, you have to maybe support President William Ruto, or Orengo has to, for Orengo to get two-term, he has to work with the government, and that's where we miss the point. That is our point of departure, because I'm telling you, even today, if Sifuna is not elected, the senator for Nairobi, and the system are not put in place, there's nothing that will happen. Even today, if Orengo is not elected as a Siaya governor, and we do not have very good system in place, then we say that Siaya is not going to change. Siaya will not change. I'm telling you, whether
I agree with you, and I totally agree with you.
Whether you bring Gumbo and all of the way Gumbo and they try to bring in new leadership, it's not going to change until the system is going to change, until even the MCAs, those that are elected in this county, they go for things that are challenging, making the system works for the wananchi. There was a time I read this. There was a lady who went, and I think I saw it from this boy called Obuya social media. Is from Busia. He does content creation of kupasa habari and what is happening in Busia. I saw one of his content. He was saying there was a lady who went to the hospital, and she went in the morning, and this lady stayed at the lobby. They're still waiting for the blood work. Did you know that by around 3, this lady was normal? That one, it means whether Ojamong or Otuoma was there, because the system that are not put in place, especially even, that's why I tell you that the majority, it's not only that the leaders who have been let down to this country, even the voters themselves, they've been let down. Even the people who are employed have been let down to this country. So until that awakening call come to each and every person and do what they're supposed to do, then the system will work. Even if today Mark Nyamita becomes the governor of Migori County, if the system are not working, if the water is not running at the taps for a few days or few weeks, the hospital wako na bili ya KPLC, because they're talking of disbursement of the funds from the national government to run that. So system.
Let me say that the statement that you've made are very correct, and I agree with you. And me, what I can say is that we have a good constitution. My take, we have one of the best constitution, but this constitution is not being followed. The constitution is very clear. It is clear to the extent at which it gives clarification on how governments are supposed to operate, both the national, both the county. It clarifies everything. But I can tell you one thing. Even the many fights, the constitutional fights that people, fought for, things to do with democracy, things to do with multipartism, I can tell you they are being fought today. And remember, they're being fought at a time when the leadership in place is in support of this particular, in support of this particular negativity that are being brought back behind the scene. They are being brought back. These things were removed from from this new constitution, but they are bringing all these things back. Things to do with the rights of the human rights, the rights of Kenyans. We've seen quite a number of them being challenged. Things to do with privacy, right to privacy, right, freedom of movements, freedom of expression. They are all being fought. And remember how tough the people fought for all these particular rights. Remember how many people died, for this particular constitution. And it's so unfortunate that even things to do with the county government and the county leadership. Look at the revenue allocation. The constitution is very clear on how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
Look at the leadership we've had. They keep on wanaongeza 5% wanatoa, wanaongeza wanatoa, wanaongeza wanatoa. Look at the breakdown in terms of devolving government certain dockets. It is not being respected. That is why we still have governors who are depending on the national leadership. If the constitution would be followed, people or leaders like James Orengo would not, if, for example, they decide, like he has decided, that he's not in support of this president, he would have an easy opportunity to move around and to give the people of Kenya or the people of his county reasons why he believes this government is not performing. But in this instance, he has no option, most of the time, of course, to meet the president, because there is a lot that is still being held at the national government. And those are the problems. That is part of the reason why I'm agreeing with the fact that as much as people are looking for new leadership, there's few that those new leadership might bring forth. But much of it, of course, still depends on the flexibility of the national government and their total view on the constitution, their total view of leadership and all those kind of things.
Yeah,
so that, of course, really matters.
And that's why, like, sometimes I still especially when you listen to especially when Rigathi speaks, he kind of sometimes evoke emotions of the people, and when you look at and you ask, if you're given an opportunity, will you really deliver? What are your deliverables, especially where we stand? And even when you are when you were the deputy president then, and there are some other issues that were happening during that time, especially when there was Sufuria movement, what did you do as a person? So those are some of the questions that we have to ask and say that, okay, what is it that we want to do differently? Because in the event Yeah, in the event that we say that, okay, what are the alternative left for us, and what are we going to do, or what are we replacing with, you know? So that's why now, when you look at the young people with Nico Cardi, I think if they can mobilize themselves and vote massively, not vote, but register massively, and after registering massively, and now they know that they have numbers, now they can dictate. And they could dictate and say that who we are supporting, because we have the numbers. And I believe that they will be very good ambassadors of their parents, and they will also uh, kind of like uh, sway the way their parents are going to vote, because they will tell them this is the reason why we are going to vote, bearing in mind that majority of their parents are in the economic class, where we have doctors, teachers, um, clinicians, and all those who are working, the working class, you know. And when you talk about the working class, they're talking about the pay slip, you know, issues to do with the pay slip, you know, the affordable housing, because you know, I've always maintained here, Makobura, that the affordable housing is not a bad idea. But here is the question, and it's just like our leaders have refused to answer some of the questions that everybody is asking. For instance, there's somebody who does not have a pay slip. Yeah, you do not have a pay slip. Yeah, and those who are in formal sector, those who are working, they're being deducted that affordable housing to assist with building the houses. And somebody without a pay slip has some money in the bank and come and buys this house. Yet there's somebody with a pay slip who has been is being deducted and still buys this house. So when you come to accounts, you know you're paying double. If to say the house was costing 3 million, and for the long run you've been deducted something like around 500, and you still want to buy this house, so how much have you paid? 3.5. Because the main aim of deducting is for you to get a house, so which means you've paid 3.5. But what about that person who do not have a pay slip and comes and buy it at 3 million? So when
You
you
know,
when you look
kwanza
at
hii
the
mambo ya affordable, you
inequality.
know, there's nothing like, I think that if people should go to court and even challenge the fact that that thing is used affordable, because it is not. That thing, I can tell you for a fact, majority of people who are taking those particular units are uh, the political class. They're the ones who are buying and buying and buying and renting those particular units out. The reason being is, if you follow the Bomayangu thing that they're saying that this is a process in which you can acquire these particular units, then I can tell you, with your payslip, a normal Kenyan citizen with their payslip will not. Only 10% of Kenyans can afford those particular, units that they are saying. For example, if you're going to put a down payment of, let's say, 200,000, a normal Kenyan who lives hand on hand to mouth, who are the majority, 80% of them, where are they going to get 200? Let me put it at 200 as a down payment. Or is it really possible? Even if you say that you're starting to pay lip mdogo mdogo, who in Kenya, the 80% who has extra, let me say even 10%, that they will be putting aside on a monthly basis to pay for the houses, and yet they cannot even afford the basic needs that are so dire and they're in need of on their daily lives. So, this to me is a special way that this government decided to come up with as a way of excluding. This thing, to me, it is excluding the people of Kenya. It is there is no sincerity here. Hauwezi ambiwa ati sijui mtu wa sijui Kibera amepatikana huko ati sasa anapelekwa kwa this affordable. With what personally I've looked into and how it is being paid and what is needed, I'm telling you, even me here, I do not qualify for those particular houses. Truth be told. So we have to be very particular and truthful enough, because this statement that has always been used more so around this affordable housing thing, it is a way of trying to capture the low people within the society. But the truth of the matter is, it is not viable and it cannot work. It is not for the low people within the society. That is the truth of the matter.
All right, Makobura, thank you so much for showing up. And I think we need to come to a close here, as tomorrow we will be monitoring the NDC. So after the not SDC, SDC and the Linda Mwananchi, we will be monitoring both the events. And after that, we will have a show on tomorrow in the evening with you and Migoda. Then on Saturday morning, if you find chance, also we will be having with Mzalendo, so that we can share our views on what is happening and what will be for ODM, Edwin Sifuna, and the Uburu factions going forward. Thank you so much for everyone who really joined us on this show. We really, really appreciate your efforts and your time and commitment. Until tomorrow, may God bless you all. Or Makubura, you have something to say?
And just a reminder to our people that we be very careful with the political class. They come up with narratives, some of which are not really making sense, but of course are only beneficial to them. They do not really put into account the sufferings or the real things that the people of Kenya are going through. So we need to be very watchful. And as we are going soon going for the elections, let us do an analysis of these political leaders. And let us not elect people based on our emotions, based on our tribe, based on our regions. Because today, if you ask me here, me, I don't care where the president of the Republic of Kenya, which region he or she is supposed to come from. Even if that president is from Uganda, is a coming from the tribes of Uganda, a country that like Uganda, and they are performing or they're doing the will of the people, I'll not have any problem. And that, of course, I'm quite sure is the wishes of the people of Kenya. So let us not be blinded by things like tribe, things like region, things like, color and all those kind of things. Let's look at the bigger picture. Let's look at the capability of these individuals. And as we are moving forward, we will, of course, have leaders who will be making right decisions, decisions which are going to impact positively the lives of the people of Kenya. And that would be my closing remarks.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Makobura, and everyone who has been with us. We want to take this opportunity to say thank you so much for supporting us, and join us again tomorrow, the same place, same time, same panelist, and you have a nice one. May God bless you.